NBA history is filled with legendary athletes who have reached extraordinary heights, but what about the stars who never got their chance to shine? Number 10. David Thompson. David Thompson, stage name Skywalker, was a 6'4" shooting guard whose boundless athletic prowess was revealed in his ability to jump high and score a lot of points. He was a force to be reckoned with after he entered the league, averaging 26 points per game on 51.4% shooting in his first 4 years in the NBA. His best performance came when he scored twice as much as the previous record holder, Taylor, who scored only 35 points in a game against the Detroit Pistons, beating the record by 38 points. However, his career was tragically cut short by health issues and personal problems that made it impossible for him to play the game at his peak. When he reached 25 years old, he sustained a severe injury that could have ended his career indefinitely. It was later revealed that Thompson was battling drug addiction, which led to his downfall. Despite being a Rookie of the Year, a multi-time All-Star, and a 2-time All-Star Game MVP, he didn't live to see his career's full potential. Number 9. Tracy McGrady. T-Mac does creep into the minds of fans where he belonged since he was a captivating player of his generation. As of then, he was the champion of scoring, and he would become a 5-time All-Star who was constantly compared to Kobe Bryant, who is among the greatest players that the NBA has ever seen. He was famous, not only for scoring himself, but for the whole complex of athletics, which no doubt made it difficult for the defenders. These consequent back defects began at the age of 26 and have been a long-term affliction and affect on his career. It also gave him less space to accelerate, and in the long run, was the reason that he had to end his sporting career ahead of time. Even if it was early in his career, T-Mac was regarded as a valid contender for an MVP award and became the one that his teams relied on to win a title or two. His 2009 playoffs were the pinnacle of his career when he tested the might of Kobe and his Lakers team with his own performance where he pushed them to 7 games before being eliminated. Number 8. Yao Ming. Yao Ming from China was 7 feet 6 inches, high like a giant, and seemed to be unbeaten, born for this. He was not just a tall center. Yao had a very smooth mid-range game, an excellent touch near the rim, and amazingly better than a man his size footwork. He was among one of the top basketball players, with his entire nation sustaining and positioning him among the best. He led his team, Houston Rockets, to the playoffs twice within the first 3 years. How you place him at the rim, and his special capability that he can shoot over even the tall defenders, that makes him a very exceptional talent. Despite Yao facing a challenging time in his 4th season, which was mainly concerned with his foot and knee injuries. These injuries made him only able to play on the field in a short span of time, which did not only result in his pronounced bad performance, but also in his poor efficiency in the field. Nevertheless, these efforts weren't enough to fight the loud and harsh nature of the NBA, but his body would carry him to the end of his career at 31 years of age. Had he not suffered from injuries, Yao would have become the center representative of the Hall of Fame in NBA history. Number 7. Brandon Roy. Brandon Roy played as a small rebounder who performed silently but effectively before the fans and the rest of the basketball fans were at the corner. He was a 3-time All-Star and 2007 Rookie of the Year, the guy whose favorite hobby was hitting late game / defeating opponents with shots from the arc into the rim. At one point while he was still playing, Kobe Bryant referred to Roy as the toughest opposing player to defend in the Western Conference. Roy's sportsman life, as opposed to his peers, was unfortunately plagued by knee problems, which manifested as early as in his first season after he was recruited. The 4th season of Roy was the time when he suffered from an injury to his knee, and after that, his on-field performance declined even more. He did that drama where he played his last game at the age of 28, with a big question gaping about what he might have been if he had a healthy body. Number 6. Len Bias. Len Bias is the ultimate tragic story of career opportunities that did not materialize, who became the what if in basketball history. He had a 6'8" frame, which was a forward that had been created by the University of Maryland, with deep capabilities for play and impressive athleticism among all players. Bias's playing not only surprised you with his great basketball talent, but also suggested that this same athlete could be an NBA star. Spending time with Jordan seems to indicate that they could have been extra fierce rivals had they both been in the NBA. As early as 1986, Bias had his name called by the number 2 pick for the Celtics, playing a future role of taking the championship position with Larry Bird. Regrettably, the semester ended, and days after the term paper deadline, Bias fatally overdosed. The entire basketball world was left in a state of shock after the death of Bias and ran out of imagination of what would have happened had he played in the NBA. His raw talent and the situation he shouldered led him to be a what if, the most enigmatic question in this league's great history. Number 5. Maurice Stokes. Maurice Stokes was a 6'7", 6'7" forward with perfect build and impeccable athleticism. He made a great name for himself as he was a big man across the boards and led his team by grabbing an average of 16.3 boards per game during his rookie year. Stokes did not only have outstanding passing skill, but he was also usually on the top of the leaderboard. After that, everything was open to him, but his career took a tragic turn with a disaster in his first game in the playoffs, 1958. Stokes' spectacular leap over a defender ended in a fall that resulted in a lifelong spinal injury, which became his constant companion for the rest of his life. His teammate and future Hall of Famer Jack Twyman, who is considered the Iron Man of the court, stood by him through the ordeal. It can be said that if the accident never happened, Stokes would undoubtedly have been the key player alongside Oscar Robertson, potentially forming a real dynasty in Cincinnati. Number 4. Grant Hill. Hill was known as somebody who was like James. Before James became the hottest and widely known, he assimilated the attributes of the forward and had the strength of an athlete and performed very well, although he could have equally done it from dribbling just like a guard. Hill has already set remarkable totals in points, passes, and assists, which puts him into a list of players like Oscar Robertson, Larry Bird, and LeBron James. So far, he is 23. That had been, however, veering downwards at the climax of his 6th season when the exact catastrophe occurred, the severe sprain of his ankle. Though Hill lost his destiny as a great superstar, Hill was able to transform his game into a stable role player. That heat, the one was put in a detectably great comparison to LeBron James, proves the point that much had been lost due to cases of injuries. Number 3. Bill Walton. The life of Bill Walton is a perfect combination of sheer brilliance and broken heart. Whatever caused injuries, it does not prevent Walton from attaining a Hall of Fame career with an NBA championship, the Finals MVP, the league MVP together with others. Bone fractures and needs of operations, especially in his legs and feet, occurred frequently during high school and his NBA career all the time. The sadness is that he was still playing his best when he reached his 40s, but he was never able to play the season without injury. Walton's beginning of the upper echelons of the game triggered many questions about what could have been if he had played with a more robust body. Number 2. Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose is one of the most glamorous players, according to basketball's personal opinion. Through his ability to perform various jumps, swift movements, and his speed, he became a puzzle that no one was able to unravel. Dwyane Wade, at the age of 22, became the youngest MVP in the history of the league. But tragically, Rose's professional career took a devastating turn when he tore his ACL in the first game of the 2012 playoffs. This injury prevented him from pushing off forcefully or quick-stepping as he used to. After some time, his career came to an end. Rose's case, with his short-term accomplishments and young age, partly defines his career as one of the most significant what-ifs in NBA history. Number 1. Penny Hardaway. Penny Hardaway, 6'7" isochronic point guard, very much run in the same chassis as the deft Magic Johnson playmaker and money on the perimeter. He was an all-star, a discreet electric player who could take control of the courts by his rebounding and shooting. In a 1989 game, Jordan said that player would be one of those who lit the torch or continued with the torch when he retired. It started dawning on Penny that though his career didn't seem to be affected too much after undergoing a knee surgery at a very early stage, he was moving downhill. He was no longer able to play like before and could only execute a portion of the dancers to which he used to contribute largely. Michael Jordan continued acting as a player up to mid-30s. He injured his foot during the season, and his dominant form was ended, making him much less effective player than he was during his peak. Penny's early talent and cherish compared to Magic Johnson provides the basis for this what if. And that concludes today's video. If you enjoyed the content, kindly hit the like and subscribe buttons down below. To stay updated on future uploads, be sure to click the notification bell. Feel free to share this video with your friends and family. Do share your thoughts and feedback in the comments section. Looking forward to catching you again in the next video.